And there, we also see a lot of the same allegations pop up. Several contestants telling the Times that they hadn't been told how little they would be fed, both in quantity and frequency, with one saying she went over 20 hours without getting anything to eat. Also, one meal that multiple contestants described was a small portion of cold oatmeal, one hard-boiled egg, and a few raw vegetable pieces. The Times also reporting that participants estimated they were fed these small portions twice a day on a sporadic basis. And then those with dietary restrictions had even more issues, saying despite filling out a form detailing their food needs before the competition, several contestants said that they were served food that they were allergic to with no alternatives available. And with that, one contestant saying, we signed up for the show, but we didn't sign up for not being fed or watered or treated like human beings. Also, in seeking out medical care or help with food or hygiene issues, some participants reported that the staff were disorganized and often unhelpful. According to one participant, some staff members even yelled and screamed at contestants. And that medication issue was also brought up and somehow made worse. But according to the Times, several contestants didn't receive the required medication on time despite production's assurances. And that includes one contestant who needs insulin. Also, several participants had to wait hours or
booted off Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. To his fans, he's a misunderstood satirist and the victim of big tech censorship. To many others, he's a malicious misogynist. Tonight, I'll try and get to the truth. Well, some of the opinions Andrew Tate shares in his videos are undeniably deeply offensive. We're going to show you some of them on this show. I think you should see them for yourself, not simply hear what he says about them or what other people say about them. Tens of millions of people across the world follow Andrew Tate, and with a big following comes a big responsibility, as well as a public interest in holding his views to account. If outrageous opinions are read aloud, they can be challenged and exposed for what they are. If they're silenced, the person holding these views can become a martyr. So that's why I invited Andrew Tate to come here tonight, and he joins me now live. So Andrew, well, welcome, first of all. You come all the way from Romania to do this interview.
Correct.
What do you hope to achieve from this interview? Why are you here?
It'd be interesting to have a conversation with you.
The other person's podcast you did, don't get mad at me, okay? Because there's room for two of us, yeah,
okay.
to have podcasts. All right, okay, Opalite, let's start with that one.
All right.
Okay, let's start here. I'm just gonna play it first, and then we'll talk about it. Here, let's get a taste. You know the words already? Yeah, you can sing along, go ahead. Oh my God.
They know every word.
Already. What's that?
Oh my God.
Come on, wow.
You had like 6 minutes to learn all the words and you've done it. That's unbelievable.
That's kind of amazing.
Oh, that felt...
Everyone in the audience.
So I'll let y'all in. A couple of years ago, I was doing a show at a comedy club in Hollywood, and I get off stage, and this beautiful girl comes up to me, gives me her number. This happens all the time. And kidding. She comes up to me, gives me her number. She's beautiful. We go our separate ways for the evening. The very next day, she texts me and was like, "Hey, I want to come over." And I'm like, "Bet." Still got it. You know what I mean? So she comes over. I let her in, go sit on the couch, and it's me and her on the couch, and then my roommate is down the hall in his room. His door's open. You can't see into the living room from his room, but he hears all of this. He's witness. So we sit on the couch, and for the first 2 minutes, I'm asking all the questions that guys don't care about, but we don't want to come across too eager, so we ask silly questions like, you got a family, or, those your real ears? You didn't get your ears? Like vague shit that we don't really care about.
With me, and I can engrave it every single year, but the real one, of course, you keep it as long you are world champion. But yeah, it's nice trophies to have at home.
So whereabouts at home do you keep it? Because like Kate Winslet, for example, she's won an Oscar. She keeps it in her downstairs toilet so that when people come round, they can pretend that they've won an Oscar. So maybe it's an idea, pop it in your downstairs.
I hope they wash their hands though before they touch it.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, health and safety, maybe don't do that.
No, I have one next to my simmering and the other one in my in the living room, basically in the closet.
It's been a bit of a crazy season for you. I mean, it seems like you've been so comfortable, just sat there at the front of basically every race. How has that felt for you?
Yeah, I mean, of course, at the end of the day, it's a whole, team effort. And I think this year the car has been incredible to drive. It's been, fairly dominant, I would say.
So I like the model of life that the ancients had, the Greeks, the Romans, right? Where you would start out and when you're young, you're just like going to school, then you're going to war, then you're running a business, then you're supposed to serve in the Senate or the government, then you become a philosopher. This sort of this arc to life where you try your hand at everything. And as one of my friends says, specialization is for insects, right? So everyone should just be able to do everything. And so I don't believe in this model anymore of trying to focus your life down on one thing. You've got one life, just do everything you're going to do.
I couldn't agree more. And I think that sometimes people find certain success in whatever the endeavor is, and then they think that that is their niche, and they stick with it, and they never change, and they almost out of fear.
Well, it's hard because there's the analogy around mountain climbing. Like if you find a mountain and you start climbing it and you spend your whole life climbing it and you get, say, 2/3 of
because as she shared the messages that she was getting from others who had alleged stories to tell about Leto, Ali also shared an old Onion headline from 2023 on her Instagram story that read, Jared Leto asks if he ever is going to get into real trouble for that stuff he's been doing, adding a comment that the Onion, a satirical newspaper that posts fabricated stories, never misses, seeming to suggest that there had to be something there in the first place for the Onion to even write a fake article about it. And by the way, in 2015, I don't know if you remember this, James Gunn, the director of the Guardians of the Galaxy films, apparently posted a video on what was then called Twitter calling out Jared Leto for his alleged behavior. Now, the video was quickly taken down, but from reports from those who say that Gunn claimed Jared Leto sleeps with underage girls. And the next morning, Gunn posted on Instagram, "Good morning to Bogota, Colombia, and sorry to all of you around the world who saw my Ambien-fueled Periscope session last night at 3 a.m. Yes, I erased it." So I want to dig into what
live cast could coexist, with a blend of those from the late 80s like Phil Hartman and Kevin Nealon, and with newer up-and-coming stars like Chris Farley, Chris Rock, and Julia Sweeney. Dana Carvey, who had just wrapped up his 6th season on the show, signed a primetime contract with NBC to work with them on new projects after Saturday Night Live. His initial plan was to return for just the first 5 shows of the season through the 1992 presidential election. Additionally, Dana's Wayne's World counterpart Mike Myers was announced to be absent until December due to his shooting the romantic black comedy So I Married an Axe Murderer. Prior to the start of the season, we said goodbye to cast members Siobhan Fallon, Beth Cahill, and 6-year veteran Victoria Jackson. Rob Schneider was upgraded to repertory status, while Melanie Hutzel would move into the middle player category, along with Ellen Cleghorn, Tim Meadows, Adam Sandler, and David Spade. And writers Al Franken and Robert Smigel would continue to appear on screen throughout the season as additional featured players. Though no new cast members were hired this season, notable writers David Mandel and Ian Max